Hey everyone, happy Monday and welcome to the Daily here on MLSsoccer.com. Josh Weisenhunt joined here by Andrew Wiebe, and we only had one game on Sunday, New York's 2-0 win over Houston. So let's go back and take a look at one of the craziest single days in recent memory in MLS. Andrew, let's start with the Cali Clasico. San Jose Earthquakes 3-2, but you really had to watch this one to really understand how big of a win this was for San Jose. What do you think?
Yeah, we thought last year was big, that 4-3 win for the Quakes in that amazing season. We had not seen the Goonies very much this year. It had been pretty dour for San Jose, but 50,000 people pack into Stanford Stadium. Then they go down 2-0, and you're thinking, boy, San Jose can't possibly do this again, can they? Well, they could. Alan Gordon gets a goal, Victor Bernardes gets sent off, and for some reason, it's adversity that really gets this team going. In the 92nd and 93rd minute, Shea Salinas starts it off and gets the equalizer. You're thinking, okay, that's a good result. And then all of a sudden, Alan Gordon on the back post. Sam Cronin was one of the crosses of the year, it has to be said. It leaves Bruce Arena calling the result embarrassing. Meanwhile, San Jose's slapping hands with the fans. They're having a great time. A huge win for them. Perhaps one that can turn their season around.
Yeah, it certainly was. The Goonies made a comeback on Saturday night. And earlier in the day, on Saturday, Andrew, Montreal in Colorado. 4-3 win for Colorado at Stade Saputo. They went down and they came back every single time throughout the afternoon. What did you think about that one?
Yeah, you had to think that this was going to be the game of the weekend when it happened. Just so many elements here. Daniel Paponi scoring a brace, his first few goals in MLS. That first one, an absolute stunner. But 3-3 after Deshaun Brown, equalizes for Colorado. You figure this one's a tie. All of a sudden, Tony Cassia, who's been buried on the bench for the Rapids this year, comes in. The break is on. Davy Arnaud giving the ball away in a bad situation as the impact push. There's a deflection. The ball goes in the back of the net, and Oscar Pareja and his squad are piling on. An amazing result for them, especially with that home dominance from Montreal, one of the best teams in the league at home. And surely they were very, very disappointed to lose out on this one.
Yeah, huge result for Colorado. There were 27 goals over the weekend in MLS. And if you check out the goal reel on MLSsoccer.com, you can watch every single one. We certainly recommend it. And some player news for you now. The big news over the weekend, Carlos Bocanegra released from his contract at Rangers. And Andrew, didn't take long for the rumors to start swirling about a possible return to MLS.
Yeah, Toronto FC first in the allocation order, but this is the first we've heard of Chivas USA being linked with the U.S. national team defender. In fact, it was Rangers in their official website release that linked him to him. Still no comment from Chivas USA, but what we do know is there's a little bit of a roster purge going on this weekend. 2 released from their contracts, Miller Bolaños and Lauren Courtois, and then 2 sent back to Chivas Guadalajara. There's also going to be 1 returning, Eric Cubo Torres, apparently on his way back, a 20-year-old striker, more than 10 goals over 3 seasons for Chivas. That's a good get for them, but we still have to wait and see how this lineup is going to shake out.
Yes, certainly. And then we talked a lot about Mario Martinez in Seattle last week and his situation with possibly returning on loan or whether or not Seattle were going to make that transaction permanent. Where does that stand right now?
Well, the deadline passed, and Seattle seemed to think that that wasn't going to be a huge issue. They also didn't think that he was going to be called up for the Gold Cup. That happened, and now Honduras' head coach is saying that he did that because he's not going to continue with Seattle. Now, Martinez is not saying that. He tweeted, look, I don't know what the situation is right now. I could go either way. I just have to focus on the national team and the Gold Cup. Meanwhile, Real España, their president, says he expects that move to go down. We'll see what happens. All we know right now is that we don't know much. We still have to wait and see.
Things are starting to get crazy. The transfer window is open. We'll be tracking all those stories and more on MLSsoccer.com. Well, today is the day that players begin filing into camp for the U.S. men's national team ahead of the start of the Gold Cup. And Andrew, as of this weekend, we have a couple injury concerns regarding a couple players.
Yeah, 2 guys that have had problems in the past ahead of call-ups. Josh Gott leaving his game with a knee injury. Still no word on how severe that one is. And then Corey Ash in that Sunday game in MLS also left the game with a knee injury. Remember, these 2 guys, Ash especially, had to leave that Cleveland camp with a groin injury. And then last year we saw Josh Gott have to pull out of that U23 Olympic qualifying campaign. We still don't know what's going to happen. We did see Stuart Holden tweet this morning that Corey Ash is on a plane with him to camp. Perhaps the doctor is going to look at him, but that's surely a story to watch with the U.S. men's national team ahead of the Gold Cup. And surely we will discuss that on Extra Time Radio today. No Nick Furshaw, but Simon and Borg and I will go back and forth, something you don't want to miss.
Yes, certainly. Make sure you check out ETR a little bit later today. And also, today marks the start of Supporters Week on MLSsoccer.com, taking an in-depth look at everything surrounding supporter culture in soccer in North America. And also, MLS All-Star voting ends tomorrow, so make sure you get your last-minute votes in. MLSsoccer.com/all-star. You can get your votes in for the All-Star Fan 11 on that one. That does it for us here on The Daily, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow.